Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking Seattle in this video, and I'll breeze through this first clip because what a football game, what a finish. A little too close to comfort, a little too close for comfort. I just really liked this, and we're going to break down this whole football game here. As always, hit that like button if you haven't already. Notice we got 4 players up here on this running back / wide receiver screen. Ends up going to Ken Walker, the running back. And yeah, I just thought this Clint Kubiak formation, second play of the game, I thought it was fascinating, but let's get into the meat and potatoes. All right, guys, we got Kyler Murray interception to Mr. Kobe Bryant, 2nd and 10. We're just a couple of minutes into the first quarter. This is as easy as it gets in the sense of an interception. It just literally falls right into Kobe Bryant. Looks like he's going for him. I don't know if this ball was too overthrown. It looked like Marvin Harrison just kind of quit on this route. I'm not really exactly sure what ended up happening. But what was weird about this is Kobe Bryant, you can even see his head. He's looking at this player right here. This actually ends up being a fumble. So he fumbles it, and then they lose possession of this. So I want to say this was the Seahawks' only turnover of the football game. And the reason I'm saying that is because this is like a crazy turnover to happen. But still, like I said, for the first 50 minutes of this football game, Seattle's defense, Kyler Murray had absolutely nothing. I mean, he had quite literally absolutely nothing going. And we're going to break down some of this tape here. But, just a crazy ending, which is not necessarily what you want. But a win is a win at the end of the day. So we're going in chronological order here. We'll get towards the end of the game a little bit later on. I just wanted to show this play. We made a Seahawks video a couple of days ago, and the running room in specifically the last game, week 3 against the New Orleans Saints, Ken Walker was, shut out. The run game was kind of shut out. Abe Lucas right here, and we talked a lot about Charles Cross in our last video on the left side, the left tackle. Right tackle Abe Lewis is pretty much the reason this play is able to, come into fruition, and Ken Walker is able to run this football. I think this is only like 20 yards, but still, this block by Abe Lucas is the difference maker. It's the catalyst in this specific play, and they had, Seattle had over 150 rushing yards in this football game. I know there were a couple of negative plays, a couple of plays at the line of scrimmage, but this, Cardinals defense, it felt like a road divisional game. I think is the best way to describe this football game and why it was so close, coming down to the wire. It was a road divisional game, and I do think that Cardinals defense is way more solid than the rest of the NFL thinks. All right, here we go. Sam Darnold touchdown to A.J. Barner, first points of the game for the Seattle Seahawks. Now, here's the thing, man. Darnold, his stat line looks great. 18-26, 242, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Obviously, they get the ball back with 30 seconds, and they go out, and, he has a huge completion to JSN, and Sam Darnold just made plays when he had to make plays. And once again, this was just one of the more fascinating football games of the season here. But we got A.J. Barner so underrated, going up against 27. You kind of have a little bit of a pick here from Cooper Kupp, and just one-on-one coverage. Barner gets his separation on 27, and this is perfectly thrown from Sam Darnold. A.J. Barner, so underrated, 3 catches, 32 yards, and this touchdown in this football game. Elijah Arroyo also had 2 catches for 44 yards, a couple of big ones. I think we're going to show you one of them. But this was, it just really was a weird, funky game, and we'll talk about more about the defense when we get to it. All right, we've got Kyler Murray's second interception of the football game. Ernest Jones is going to end up grabbing this, and actually gets a little bit or a bunch of yak here. Now, here's the thing. I'm trying to remember this statistic because Kyler Murray finished 27 of 41 for only 200 yards. So he threw the football 41 times for only 200 yards. He had 2 interceptions. We're showing you the second one here. Actually gets a really nice ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. On the first 9 drives of the Arizona Cardinals offense, they had 150, 120 yards, something like that. And then on the final 2 drives, the Cardinals had 120 yards. So it really was, like we mentioned, the first 50 minutes, the Seahawks were really dominating this football game. And it's just a really gritty road divisional football game. So we just mentioned this a few clips ago. Now it's starting a little bit late. NFL copyright's a pain in the ass, which, by the way, guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. It goes a very long way. Love all my Seahawks fans. who watch these videos, but Darnold gets out into space. He's so good at throwing on the run. It's crazy. He really is. Now you've got I think this is 30 yards. I'm going to fact check this for you guys. 32 yards to Elijah Arroyo, number 18. And Darnold's running out of this pocket, and we'll break all this down in all 22 as the week progresses. But he sees a linebacker, I think it's Josh Sweat, going with him, and they're like, he's not going to be able to turn around, track this football. I'm going to trust my big tight end in Elijah, and he throws it up there. It's perfect, and Arroyo comes down with it. And just my whole kind of premise here is, I know Torrey Horton only had 1 catch for 10 yards, but these rookies are making, Gray Zabel, offensive lineman, these rookies are making big-time impacts this early on in their rookie seasons. All right, we got Zack Charbonnet's touchdown run. You got Dareke Young. I always say his name wrong. Dareke. It pisses me off how wrong I get it, and I don't know why I get it wrong. It's not that difficult of a name, but apologies. But anyways, Zack Charbonnet, he's going to his left here. Now, what you're going to see, and this is really what it felt like, this put the game away, especially when Arizona didn't score on their possession, because we're going into halftime, and the score is 14-3. Now, I'll let you watch this, and you kind of saw it right there. It's 3rd and goal. All right, this is a big play in this football game. If they get stopped, have to either go for it on 4th and inches, kick a field goal, whatever. That's a big swing. And the reason I pinpointed Young here is because I think if he holds this block on number 16, I think that's Max Melton, I think this is a much easier touchdown. But we got Charles Cross, who we always talk about on this channel. He's going to come on in here and just clean this up, get low, and push Charbonnet in for the touchdown. So, at the end of the day, 155 rushing yards, 4.4 yards per carry, 1 touchdown against a very gritty Cardinals defense. That's something I'm definitely going to take every single week. All right, once again, as the week progresses, we will break down the All-22. We're probably going to just rip a defensive video tomorrow because I just genuinely think they did such a great job in the first 50 minutes. And then Collard, Marvin Harrison had some crazy throws, some crazy catches. Leonard Williams, he had a sack and a half in this football game. The only really downside defensively or in the game in general, other than maybe being a little too close for comfort, is Lawrence. He was done early, but he said he was fine. I think it was his groin. 6 total sacks in this football game, and for number 99, he had a 1.5. Then we also got number 7, Uchenna Nwosu. He had 2 in this football game, so they were all over Kyler Murray, causing pressure, making him make poor decisions, with the 2 interceptions. And I thought, first 50 minutes, this defense was pretty much perfect. All right, folks, we're going to end it here. It's 2nd and 10, and then we got JSN down here, one-on-one coverage. Now, you guys know I'm a Packers fan. I mean, I probably have a little bit way more affiliation to the Seattle Seahawks because you guys were like my 3rd ever NFL video, and it was like the first one that really popped. I think it got like 70K. It was something crazy, and from there on out, I started making NFL content every single day. So the Seahawks hold something a little close to my heart. The reason I'm kind of joking at this is because I'm going up against JSN in fantasy. But this is perfectly executed, and he's able to get out of bounds. So Darnold, once again, 272 yards, 18 to 26, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 9.3 yards per completion or yards per attempt. And JSN, 4 catches, 79 yards. This was the most important one. There's 22 seconds left on this clock. It's really loud in this stadium because the Cardinals just put up like 14 points in, 5 or so minutes. Finds him perfectly. JSN turns back, tracks this, catches it, and then this is the high IQ you see where he gets out of bounds, and Seattle is able to hold on to their timeout. Zack Charbonnet runs for a couple of yards, and Jake Myers rips the field goal for the win. So, folks, that's it for me. Rapid reaction tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you did. Let me know all your comments down below. Like I said, we'll break down the All-22 probably tomorrow night, so stay tuned for that. Have a great rest of your night, great weekend, and just enjoy the win, all right?